Here we are, boys, in the dungeon, the curmudgeon. Let's see. There. Oh my God. We're gonna stay. Excellent. We're gonna topple over. There we go. A little bit of this action. All right, boys. Here we are in the dungeon. I know I should be looking over there. I'm gonna be staring at myself. Anyways, so I want to talk about I just finished a 10-mile walk. So I want to talk about, building a good physique, why you should build a good physique. Personally, I've been going through a breakup and, I won't go into details about it, but, that's been one of the things that has distracted me from the pain of that. It has kept me on the path. It's kept me feeding myself the right things. It's made me make sure that I'm, putting into my body fuel and not just letting myself rot, because my body screams at me. It's like, bitch, you're fucking hungry. You gotta eat, bro. You can't just sit around and feel like shit. I did that for about a month, but focusing on building a good physique has returned purpose into my life, where I felt completely empty, and has given me a goal. Before I injured my shoulder, which was about 2 years ago now, I ended up benching 205 for 2. And that was very good for me. Most of my life I had fucked around with Smith machines, and I was working out at Planet Fitness, so I couldn't do a proper bench press there. And I had hit 2 plates there before on the Smith machine, but to me it didn't really feel like it counted because I wasn't in full control of the weight. I was pushing up against something. But I hit 205 for 2 reps right before this injury, and I felt pretty strong. And when I hit that, I actually was like not feeling my best. So it was like, okay, dude, I can hit this 225. I can make this mark happen. And I injured myself on my 21st birthday, and I'm gonna be 24 in August, and it's May right now. So it's coming on 3 years since then. I injured myself longboarding in the mountains. I almost made it. I almost fucking made it down that hill, but I didn't make it, and I wiped out really bad. I dislocated my shoulder, and I was a complete idiot, and I didn't go get medical attention. I slept on a dislocated shoulder all night, and the next day I ended up snapping it back into place on my own. I'm like, oh man, this is really sore, and I'm like pulling it over, and then I just feel like going back into place, and I'm like, okay, my shoulder was actually dislocated. That's when it hit me. And at the time, there was a debate of like, oh, should I go to the medac, the urgent care? Should I go take care of myself, or should I just go to Walgreens and get a sling? So I went to Walgreens and I got a sling, which was a terrible idea. And ever since then, my physique goals have been completely derailed. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because basically for the last 2.5 years, I have been suffering with mental anguish. And for, 2.5, almost 3 years now, I've been struggling with lots of problems in my life. Things that didn't haunt me in the way they started to once I stopped focusing on my physique, once I stopped having this ultimate end goal, once I stopped reaching for 225 on that bench press, once I felt incapacitated, I became weak physically, right? I tried to maintain my strength, but I pushed myself too early, too quickly with the dislocation. Eventually I got a physical therapist, soft tissue specialist, and I trained, and I did a lot to help my shoulder recover, and I'm like, I don't know, 90, 95% there, you know what I mean? So I feel better now. And it's only been about a month of me trying to really get back into this. But I can tell you what, beyond this breakup kind of forcing me to, tackle these problems head on, right before it all hit me. It all hit me very hard, like what I was missing out of my life. And it was this sense of purpose. It was this goal. It was this thing that could not be taken away from me. And every single day I would find some excuse. I would find some reason to not be disciplined. I would find some reason to not do the thing that I knew that I had to do. I didn't want to do it, but I knew I should do it. I knew it would make me feel better. I knew it would help my mental health. I knew that it would progress me towards something in life, but I avoided it every single day. And eventually it snapped in me, and I realized, like, oh my God, like, I'm terrible to be around. I am not my best self. I am extremely unhappy, and I'm not pushing myself to be a better person. I've become completely complacent. I've become way too comfortable with, leaving messes next to me while I sit at my desk all day long, while I wait for my partner to come home and I do nothing else. I'm not doing my laundry. I'm not picking up. I'm hardly taking care of my dishes. I'm washing dishes, in order to have clean dishes to eat. I'm in this absolute pit. And it's not 100%, because I wasn't working out. I was dealing with other issues in my life, but these issues are long-term things that happen from my childhood and from my teenage years. Eventually, after this shoulder injury, it all kind of became too much. But I had been dealing with it in a very good way up until then by progressing myself. So, this is why you should build a good physique. It will give you the mental clarity required to tackle your problems and to feel self-confident that you can, in fact, handle your problems, because you can do things that you don't want to do. You can do things that you have to do, and you can push yourself beyond what you thought your capacity was. You can break through these limiting beliefs and ideas on, what you think is capable. Beyond the fact that you'll feel better in your day-to-day, you'll have more energy points. Like, think about it. For me, you can tell probably by my shirt, I do construction. So in my job, I'm lifting heavy stuff all day, man. I move window panes, and it's like, if I'm not working out, I'm not even showing up to work with 10 energy points most of the time. I'm showing up with like 6 energy points, and then maybe I'm sleep deprived, and then also maybe I'm feeling like shit. And then on top of that, I didn't eat a great meal last night. I made a bad food choice because, I'm not exercising, and, I don't really need to fuel myself with the best things. And, eating good foods, that's not been the biggest issue, but I did ultimately become extremely comfortable with eating foods that are garbage for me and would make me feel like garbage. But because I wasn't doing much, my body kind of didn't necessarily interpret it in the same way as, like, when you're working hard, when you're really pushing yourself and pushing your limits, your body is going to scream at you whenever you try and eat a whole bag of chips or some bullshit like that. Your body is not going to be happy. You're going to be like, what the fuck? My stomach feels terrible. But when you've sat on your ass all day and you eat a whole sleeve of Pringles, yeah, you are going to feel like shit inevitably. But you might feel slightly less shitty. You might not notice it as much. You might not be aware of the fact that you've just ingested 1,000 or 1,500 calories of basically nothing, And I'm not this like super proponent of like eat super clean all the time. Like, you gotta enjoy life, but it makes it easier to be comfortable making the wrong choices when you are not focusing on building your physique. A good physique is something that can't be purchased. It can't be given to you. It takes hard work and consistency and dedication. And you have to do the hard work, yes, but nobody can take that away from you. And in other areas of my life, I felt like my time could be taken away from me. Felt like my money could be taken away from me. I felt like my joy could be taken away from me. I felt like, basically the list goes on, right? And I felt like I was in less control of those things, and therefore I was in less control of my life. But focusing on building myself physically is such a pure pursuit. There is no gimmicks, there's no tricks, there's no easy way to do it. It's hard work. You have to do it when you don't want to do it. I walked 10 miles every single day, except for Sunday, so far this week. I've hit 60 miles, and then today is 70 miles. And today it was super easy. I kind of needed that rest day yesterday, but yesterday's rest day to me was like a reminder of like, holy fuck, this is what you've been doing while you're depressed. Like, it's okay to have that time off, man, but you gotta do something with that time off. You can't just sit in front of your computer all day, sit on your ass all day, and expect to feel good afterwards. You can't fucking do that shit, man. You have to push yourself to do something that is going to better you as a person. And building your physique is extremely important for that. There's a popular quote by Socrates, which is that it is a shame for a man to grow old without ever seeing the beauty and strength that his body is capable of. And it is so true. In my job, I work in a lot of expensive neighborhoods, and I see people who are retired and, in their 50s and stuff like that. And there's a difference in demeanor between the guy who is out there jogging with his dog, and he's got a balding ass head, but he looks like he could fucking body slam me, versus the guy got a full head of hair or whatever, but he's overweight and he's walking his dog, barely walking his dog. That guy's mean mugging me. That guy's pissed with himself. That guy's unhappy with his life. And it's because he does not have a pure pursuit in his life anymore. He may have achieved financial status. He may have reached this pinnacle where he's got food, housing, transportation, all of his needs met. But he's not taking care of himself physically. And therefore, he can't really take care of himself mentally. And because of that, he's mean mugging me. He looks at me and he sees a young, healthy guy with potential, right? And he's pissed as I'm driving by. And it's not to diminish this person or to defame them or make them seem like an asshole, but it's like they're missing something in their life. And that something is working on their body, because you only get one. And in this lifetime, you can choose to live a shittier quality of life, right? By having a shittier quality physique, or you can choose to live a higher quality of life by having a better physique. Having a good physique enables you to explore the world with very little limitation. You can climb a tree, you can get up rocks on hiking trails, you can go for a 10-mile walk. Like, I accomplished 10 miles. Like, granted, I do walk around in a lot of my day, but like, I accomplished 5 miles in like roughly an hour, 15 minutes, And on my Sunday where I wasn't doing anything, I was exhausted because I had walked 60 miles and worked out like, I believe 5 days of the week. So I was pretty exhausted. I did need that rest day, but it enables you to be able to explore and conquer the world in a way that you simply cannot achieve with this missing aspect in your life. You cannot be the best of the best, truly be different from 99% of people or a 1%er, right? Without having built your physique, without knowing the strength and beauty that your body is capable of. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys get some value out of this. This is just a bit of a rant, and I plan on posting 1 or 2 of these a week. We'll see how that goes. And until then, if you guys have any questions, I would love to interact with you in the comments and hear what you have to say. So drop a comment down there, and I'll look forward to talking to you guys about the next topic. Peace.